All right, let's jump right in. We're going to skip the high-level abstract stuff today. Think of this as a coaching session, just you and me talking about a skill that is going to fundamentally change your daily work. We're talking about how to turn that document grind into a real strategic advantage, all by using AI the smart way.
So let me ask you, does this feel familiar? Your day is just this endless cycle of opening documents, invoices, contracts, reports, you name it. You're digging through them, hunting for that one key piece of data. And yeah, every decision you make is backed by your hard-won experience, which is awesome. But let's be honest, the process itself is slow, it's tedious, and it eats up hours you know could be spent on much more important strategic thinking.
But what if we could totally flip that script? I mean, just look at this. On one side, you've got the before. That's the world of manual reviews, gut feel judgments that can be a little inconsistent, and reports that take days to pull together. Now look at the after. The AI automatically flags only what needs your attention. Your professional judgment is now supercharged with data, and those reports, they're done in a matter of hours. This isn't science fiction. This is the real, tangible promise of working with AI.
Okay, now we get to what is maybe the most important idea in this entire conversation. This is not about replacing you. It's not about replacing your expertise. It's about making you better, faster, and stronger. The whole goal here is to use AI as an amplifier. It's a tool that takes care of the boring, repetitive stuff, freeing you up to focus on the big picture decisions that actually require a human brain.
This quote right here just nails it. You're not doing less work, you're doing better work. But here's the coaching moment. An amplifier magnifies everything, including the flaws. You have to calibrate your judgment. I've personally seen these tools confidently make up statistics or cite court cases that literally do not exist. Your new job is to be the expert verifier, the one who asks the tough questions and double-checks the output. That is the better work. You know, this reminds me of a business owner I worked with. They knew all the theory. I mean, they'd read every article, been to all the right conferences, but when it was time to actually do something with AI, they were totally stuck. The data was a mess, the team wasn't on the same page, it was just chaos. And you know what finally got them moving? It wasn't more theory. It was a simple, practical, structured plan.
And that is exactly what we are going to break down right now. We're going to walk through a really powerful, repeatable three-step framework that gets you from theory to actual success. This is the playbook that business owner was missing.
Okay, so here's the core of it. Our success plan is built on 3 solid pillars: strategy, then implementation, and finally, measurement. It's a really logical flow that takes you from just an idea all the way to real impact. So let's dive into what each of these actually means in the real world. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with strategy. Before you even think about a specific tool, you have to stop and define what winning actually looks like. Why? Because it's so easy to get distracted by flashy AI features. A clear strategy forces you to ask the hard question. What specific problem are we trying to solve here? What's the one thing we can measure to know we succeeded? This keeps your project from floating off into space and grounds it in real business value.
Next up, implementation. This is where the rubber meets the road, where your beautiful plan becomes reality. You're picking tools, you're coordinating your team, you're managing the budget. But the key here isn't just getting the tech to work. It's about managing the change for your people. You have to train them on how to work with the AI, not just hand them a new login and expect magic to happen.
And the final piece of the puzzle, measurement. How do you actually know if any of this is working? Well, you establish clear metrics up front, things like hours saved or errors reduced, and you track them like a hawk. This isn't just about writing a report for your boss. It creates a feedback loop that proves the value of what you're doing, builds momentum, and makes it way easier to ask for more resources down the line.
Of course, no plan survives contact with reality completely unscathed. You're going to hit some bumps in the road. But knowing what those bumps are ahead of time, well, that's half the battle. So let's talk about the most common hurdles you're probably going to face. Take a look at these 4. I bet you'll recognize at least one of them. If you've got misalignment, get your key people in a room and don't let them out until you agree on one primary goal. For resource constraints, start small. Run a little pilot project to prove it works before you ask for the big bucks. And that resistance to change, we'll get to that next. To fight that difficulty measuring impact, always tie your metrics back to money, time saved, costs cut, whatever it is.
Let's zoom in on what's often the biggest hurdle of all, good old-fashioned resistance to change. The advice here is pure gold. Don't try to just power through it, you've got to mitigate it.
Education is great, showing the benefits is great, but the real game changer is that last part, involving skeptics in the process. Seriously, give your loudest critic a seat at the table. Make them part of the team building the solution. It's the fastest way I know to turn a resistor into your biggest champion.
All right, we've talked about the problem, the three-step solution, and the hurdles you'll face. Now, let's wrap this all up into a final, actionable plan you can use to start doing your absolute best work. Here it is. This is your takeaway, your action checklist. First, assess your current gaps, but also assess the risk. Is an AI mistake here a tiny typo, or is it a massive compliance failure? That changes everything. Then, define your success metrics. Engage everyone who matters, early and often. Implement in small, manageable phases. Don't try to boil the ocean. Build your team's skills so they can use these tools wisely. And finally, you have to constantly monitor your results and be ready to adjust.
You know, when it's all said and done, the whole point of this framework is to engineer a fundamental shift in how you spend your time. It's about getting you away from the manual, tedious work of just gathering data and moving you toward what you do best, making strategic, data-supported decisions. That's where your real value is.
So I'll leave you with this one last question. Forget all the theory for a second and just think about your own work right now. What is one specific, annoying, time-sucking process that you could start to transform using this three-step approach? Just identify that one thing. Start there. That's how you get on your way.